I want to be live where I swear it, not easy. My been rapping, my phone, man, I get it, my get was doing, I'm bringing no profit. On my way, people calling me niggas, all the trouble I see, I ain't do at a piece. When they're suffering, no sunset, I can't be the cold, how I get paid. Sooner or later, my hustle bit. Never the pay, and I'm rushing myself. Keep it cool, everything have a CC. Too much rushing, a problem in chasing. One day. One day. I'll get it cool. One day. My
hustle gonna pay one day. Enemies can go to see my face. Me I know I'm not watching me. One day, success gonna come my way. I know my hustle gonna pay one day. Enemies can go to see my face. Me I know I'm not watching me. One day, success gonna come my way. Yeah. My mama was so angry. My papa was so angry. My friend was your money. Any mess that will come on and miss. So I'm my way. 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 I'm on my way to this place and I'm looking for money. Looking for money. Looking for money. I want to make mama happy. One day papa happy. One day my brothers and sisters to come around me. Yeah. Captain the go, why you know you hustle? Why saying the go by the Genesis? Shall come at the price, shall come at the power. I feel be working on Wednesday. In my love for the my, in my love for the ma. All in the dark, all in the dark, all in the week, all in the all in the Sunday. Mama was so what you want. No for air. My papa was so what you want. My friend was your money. Any mess that will come on and miss. So I'm my way. 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 I'm my way.
Armando, you are a famous star now. What do you have to say?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Attorney Commander Glapohkpa Chesson. I'm here on Broad Street at 934 Broad Street at Sonia's Jewelry. I'm here with the proprietor. Sir, can you tell us your name and how long this business has been here?
Hi, my name is Pedro Feliz. We've been in business for more than 25 years.
And what kind of support do you get from the community?
Oh, we get a very strong support for the community. It's proved that we've been here for already 25 years. That means that we're getting very good support for the community, and we're very proud of the support that they provide to us.
Do you have any message for my people?
Yes, one of the messages that I want to give to my customers is that if you ever need service related to jewelry, or if you ever need to buy a present for your relative, just think about us, because when you think about us, not only you helping us, you also we're gonna be sure that you're getting the best piece of jewelry at the best price in the community. And also we have other kind of services. We have selection of watches, and we do custom pieces like name jewelry and name rings, a lot of stuff related to jewelry. We also do jewelry repair. If you ever need service or wanting pieces, you're more than welcome, so we can do it for you.
Thank you very much, Pedro.
You're very welcome, Mr. Chesson.
Have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm glad I took this tune. It wakes me up in the morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tony Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. We wake up this day to my message. 1. African Americans and Americo-Liberians relations. A struggling legacy of a nearly failed effort to unite a lost people. 2. Continue the repatriation and or back to Africa movements to Liberia. Those are my lessons for this morning. I'm sure most of you have already seen my official message this morning that I posted on the different pages on Facebook, and I haven't done it on YouTube yet, but you will see it again. So those are my topics for this morning. Hang on. We'll be right back to get into the nitty gritty of all of this. Just bear with me. Sometimes these topics are... Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Tony Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. This morning, I'm at the Black Business Association. And before me is the founder and CEO, Miss Lisa Wrangling. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Chesson. Thank you so much for being here with us. We are so excited when you come through these doors. It's always so refreshing to see you and to welcome you to the Rhode Island Black Business Association. And of course, I am your awesome friend, Miss Lisa Wrangling, founder and CEO of this great organization we go by and call REBA.
Lisa, tell us about REBA.
Yeah, REBA is an organization. Can you imagine? We're going on 12 years old. Rhode Island Black Business Association was founded to create opportunities and build community through business development. And we support small businesses. We help them with access to capital, access to technical assistance for them to grow and thrive and create jobs. And we know when businesses are creating jobs, they actually hire real people. We are moving people from poverty to sustainability. It's a win-win for all of us. In addition, we offer a 7-month leadership development training program that is geared towards high-performing professionals. Again, in Rhode Island, we know that we're hearing people are saying we can't find people of color, black and brown leaders. Well, in partnership with University of Rhode Island and the Department of Labor and Training, we are offering a 7-month leadership development training program that is going to impact companies out there. So any company that wants to diversify their workforce, they need to connect with the Rhode Island Black Business Association. We can help them with their talent development, their pipeline program. Right now, we have over 50 professionals that will be starting in the next cohort in the fall, in October. And again, this is a program that is funded by DLT and in partnership with University of Rhode Island. We are changing the face of leadership in Rhode Island. In addition, we have several other programs. The microloan program, which grants loan anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. And we have a forgivable loan program up to $5,000. You can find us on web, www.ri-bba.org, or you can call the office at 401-383-1179. We look forward to servicing you. Join us.
What message do you have for the people?
Well, we have our upcoming gala coming up October 28th. Friday, October 28th, it will be at the Omni. Tickets will go on sale. Early bird tickets will go on sale very shortly. Connect us, and we look forward to servicing you and having a good time this fall.
Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We look forward to talking with you again soon.
Alrighty. Take care. Stay blessed.
Bye-bye. Well, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start my topics. My first message, a topic, deals with African Americans and Americo-Liberians issues. Why? It's time for us to address these issues. And after this video, let me just go through my message that I posted already so we can reiterate the reason for this topic. We're getting the nitty-gritty, the meat, the tough part, the chewy part of the topic. Good morning, my African American and Americo-Liberian people. Welcome to Attorney Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. We, as a people, have dealt in ignorance, backwardness, and failure to know who we are and what we are to each other for too long. Liberia was a nation that was founded by African Americans who believed in their own abilities, their own strengths, and their own direction. They left these shores and went to Africa amid the different issues and problems that we had among ourselves in this nation. We left and went to Liberia to set up a new nation for ourselves and our posterity. But in doing so, it caused much stress to our race and our people of the United States of America. We fought each other intellectually, physically, and spiritually against colonization and separation of our people from these shores of the United States of America. Despite what eventually occurred for us to leave this nation, it happened. And for nearly 200 years, we stayed in Africa fighting to build a nation that we could call our own. And today, despite our shortcomings and our shortfalls, many of us have returned to the United States of America for a hopeful life and new beginnings. And while we are here, it is very important that African Americans and Americo-Liberians set aside our differences, our idiosyncrasies, and come together to forge a better understanding of each other, a better need to assist each other here and in Africa, and a better direction for all of our posterity. My class this morning will start the spreading of this message to African Americans and Americo-Liberians in this nation so that we can come together and understand the greater purpose of our need for unity, progress, and advancement amongst ourselves here in America and on the African continent in the Republic of Liberia. Welcome to my show. Please pay attention, and I hope that you will make comments that will create a better understanding as I explain the issues of our group, our nations in Liberia and in America, and what we hope to achieve through this medium. I thank you for listening, and I hope that when you leave here today, you leave with a better understanding of why we need to create a better sense of unity, solidarity, and understanding between African Americans and Americo-Liberians. I thank you. It's good to be back. Let me clear this message. You know, I've been in the United States of America for close to 35 years now. And I can remember the first few years I came to this country, not fully understanding the culture, issues of this nation. I felt offended when I met African Americans who be damned that Tarzan was a king in Africa. You couldn't shake those people out of that idea. People who believe that we're still living in huts and trees and things like that. It's a reality. It is a reality. You know, I felt offended at first, but I came to this country to learn. I did not come to this country to question people. I didn't know too much about America. And when I came, all I knew was there were black people and white people, Indian people. I didn't really understand the depth of the Hispanic involvement in this country, the other races of people in this country, because my mind and my concept of America and its people was totally limited. So coming to America, I was just as ignorant as some of my own people here. I was ignorant of America just as they were ignorant about Liberia. And when I started talking to them and hearing about them saying that Tarzan was a hero in Africa, and you couldn't shake some of the black people, man, some of the old black people I talk with, they didn't want to hear nothing. They couldn't. Tarzan was ruling Africa and that was it. They couldn't believe nothing else. Nothing else. To them, black people were not capable of ruling themselves. We had to have a white man. So to come with the idea that black people were ruling themselves, some people didn't want to hear it. You know, at first I got mad. I remember I was going out with this girl in Pittsburgh, and she took me to visit her mom. And as soon as I visited her mom in Africa, came by, her mom said, "Oh man, Tarzan's still ruling our country, man. I want to talk to you." I said, "What? Tarzan? You must be joking. Tarzan ruling Africa, Liberia?" She said, "Yes." So all the way I tried to explain to that woman that Liberia was founded by African Americans. She didn't want to hear it. She said all she was told that Tarzan was in Africa, and it was it. I mean, I felt so hurt. I broke up the relationship with that girl. I couldn't go out with her anymore. I told her, I said, "No, with that kind of philosophy, your parents still holding on to it, it's hurtful to me, you know, coming from Africa, knowing how we fought for our struggle to free our continent, and we're still enslaved. Then you come to me with the Tarzan mentality." So I got mad first. But then as I stayed and joined the army and all of that, and learned that, I learned about it first in the army, but I was from white people. I told anybody who watched my show, I've told this story time and time again, how one day on a military base in Fort St. Houston, I was in Texas, 2 white boys came up to me and said, "Hey, Chesson, no disrespect, man. We just want to find out the truth." I said, "No problem, guys. Ask me any question you want to ask me." They came up with, "Hey, is Tarzan still in Africa? Is Tarzan ruling Africa?" First it took me aback. Dad said, "No, let me play with him a little bit." So I said, "No, he used to be, but one day we came out of my office and walking down the street, we saw this naked white man called Tarzan just jumping from tree to tree on the streets. We got trees all in the middle of the streets, and this guy was just swinging from tree to tree, tree to tree. So we look at him and we wonder what kind of wild man is this. So we pulled him down, flog him, told him to go home and put him some clothes because we don't do this kind of thing in Africa. And that was it. And these 2 boys look at each other with disbelief. They look at each other, they look at me, they say, "Nah." All the busters start laughing. And I told them, I said, "No, guys, Tarzan is not in Africa. Tarzan may be in the British colonies, but in Liberia, we have no Tarzan. We form our own country." So he said, "Oh, man, thank you. That just clarifies some things." So it shows that people really believe this thing from the movies. So when I went to Pittsburgh, and this lady, it's just that she was so adamant. "I don't want to hear nothing. Tarzan is in Africa. Africans can't rule themselves. He's ruling Africa." And that was it. The woman didn't want to hear nothing. So after I left there, I went other places where people felt the same way too. There were some people that knew better, I met that knew better. But a lot of people felt the same way. I didn't have no clue about Africa. I had no clue about Africa. And that was not the only place. Africans in Germany too. The Germans didn't have no clue of Africans when I got there. It wasn't a years later they started showing shows about Africa and the industrial areas and things. But when I first got there, they had no clue about Africa. Maybe it's our own fault too, because we don't promote ourselves. How many shows you see already addressing African and African American issues? Because if you talk about only African issues, African Americans don't care too much about that. A few of them will listen to it, but they wouldn't care about that. They want to hear African American issues. There's Liberian people, they don't care about African American issues. They want to hear African issues. And that's what hamper us too, because we're not giving cross-cultural messages on our shows. We're not showing that deep relationship that we have to show, that we encourage people to come from every culture to watch our shows. And one of the reasons I did so much with Liberia on Liberian issue because of our situation right now. But if we were under more peaceful and legal systems and conditions, I wouldn't have to do so much with Liberia. But my country is in serious trouble, and we need to help out my people. But I also realize that we can't do it by ourselves. Even when we go to the white people, they can't help us. I might look at what happened in Liberia now. The white people are just pumping the money to these criminals, and they don't care what they're doing with the money, as long as their interest being secured and achieved. They don't care about us. They would care about us when we started striking and doing things in our country that impact their benefactors' aims or objectives. Then they will come in. Like right now, the stealing in Liberia is under control. The killing, everything under control. Is not happening in American investment in Liberia. No light in the country. The country, America can't function because they're pumping too much. They're pumping double money in the country now. They're pumping money in the country to help build the country, infrastructure, light, and all those kind of things. Then at the same time, they're sending Danny Moore and things to the embassy because we don't have lights, we don't have good water, and then so they got to fix their own system right there. So they send it double money, and it's costing America. So they're saying, no, y'all got to stop this thing. We're going to punish the rogues now to quell all the corruption, because the corruption killing us too. We spending too much on both sides. So that's why. And we know that in most West African countries or African countries where America is, they have their own system because they can't trust the local systems. You know, the water, the electricity, all those kind of things. They can't trust most of them. Now the internet can't function so good. Where in Africa you can go, internet will function good? I don't know. But the ones I've been to right around my country, we have a serious problem with internet connection. So that's it. And we're not going anywhere. So let's look at the issues of my topic this morning. Why it is so significant that African Americans and Liberians form a greater understanding. You know, if I wasn't in such a knowledge and understanding, I would come up with a different feelings about African Americans. After the first time I met them and we went all through this. But that wasn't the end. That was just the beginning. Let me tell you what really hurt me. When I came back from the military and all this thing, I came to join a black organization, a big black organization. A friend of mine wanted to initiate me in this group. And guess what happened? I was so happy to join these guys. I said, damn, I'm coming to join my educated brother. There was an organization for elite black people in America. I was coming to join the organization. I was so happy because everywhere I went in Pittsburgh, or I offered my help to the NAACP, all these people, the way they approached me, it showed me they didn't have a system of approaching our people as dealing with our people issues. Because for Africa, I've always dreamed of working with the NAACP. I came here with the intention. I said I will work with these people so we can form a greater tie of understanding and we can help each other. They got problems in America. They need assistance. Americans good with money. They know money. Black Americans know the money, but they don't know the politics. The politics of dealing with the society and handling the opposition and all that. They don't understand it. So sometimes they misstep. But when it comes to money, they know money. We in Africa, we don't know money because we grew up to love each other, the family shit, and all the guys get the expression. But how we grew up, community, everything community. Yeah, the people grew up in America, people grew up to be unit families. When you reach a certain age, you take yourself and walk out of the house, go build your family somewhere else. They're used to that. So everybody is taught to build self-wealth. So when you're small, you start learning how to work at McDonald's and all these kind of places. We don't have those things in Africa. They're so limited and so controlled by family members or by government that have family members. All our institutions that's supposed to be for the people got family members working in them. So the masses of the people in our country cannot enjoy the benefits that have accrued to people in our country. Why? Because everything is government-centered. It's not private business-centered. If we're private business-centered and we're encouraging people to do business, giving them money to do business and things like that, then we'll have more businesses in Liberia, all over Liberia. And people can get vacation jobs, people can get summer jobs, people can say, oh, I tell you with you, man, I don't want to work with this company. I'm going to Nima to work, or I'm going to Guangzhou to work, I'm going to Maryland to work. There'll be jobs all over the place. But we are not privileged or blessed to have that kind of system because of corruption, greed, and miseducation, undereducation, all the things that destroy our country. Because in America, what's really driving America is the credit system, where you have to be honest. You got to pay your bill. You don't pay your bill, can't get credit. But as long as you pay your bill, I don't care how small or how big the bill is, once you pay that bill every month, you have the ability to buy anything you want to buy. Once your credit is good, your credit rating is good, you can buy it. That's about paying your bills. Most of us come to America, we don't understand that. We see all the money in the credit card, we think we just use it. I have friends who will see the checks. When the checks come, they see the checks and say, oh, my man, I got plenty of money. The guy was just showing me all the checks. He said, you see all these checks? I got plenty of money. I said, you better not cash the people check. You just got $200 in the check, in your checking account. You think all that money, all those checks equal to $200? That the check's only for the money you got in the account. Don't go write check. You ain't got no money in the account. They will jail you. He said, oh, that's true? Yeah, that's true. So for us to change our mentalities, have to change both African Americans and Liberians. One group of people can change and other people change. I was telling you about this big organization I want to join. After we got in the meeting, I was so happy to join the organization, man. All of a sudden, few of the black guys, man, the big brothers there, that were laughing and talking to me, those guys objected to me joining the organization. I said, what? They said, man, we don't want this guy to join the organization. So I said, what's the reason? It wasn't for anything I did. It wasn't for my character. It wasn't for my behavior. It was because our Africans. Our African. They said, these Africans don't like us. They said, that was the reason for me not joining. And these were big guys in the organization. All the guys got together and said, the guy can't join, man, he African. Africans don't like African Americans. Oh, I was so hurt. I have never been hurt like that. I was hurt. Yeah, the people are so happy to join for us to do things, build our community, work together and things like that. And the people fighting me because I'm African. I do not know the people. I even know the people where my friend brought me in. Luckily, my friend was influential. And he said, no, guys, we can't think like that. We can't think like that. This guy is not a that man. You know, and eventually, I was admitted in the organization. But me and those people, we in the organization, but knowing how they feel about me, and knowing that after I join, we don't have no real interaction as an organization. Once in a while we meet. So I know their opinions of me haven't changed because I'm an African. Can you imagine that? Oh man, I went home, I was so hurt. I was so hurt. How could educated African American, people with masters and PhD, look at another African than me with a law degree and tell me they don't want to mix with me because I'm an African? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? But they're not all, you know. I've had situations where I sit with African American lawyers. I'm a lawyer. I sit with them. But because of some jealousy or some reason, I go to talk to people, tell me, oh, no, Chesson, shut up. We'll not talk until you shut up. I said, what? African American lawyers, we got cases before us for my organization and thing. The lawyer tell me I got to shut up before they talk. Can you imagine that? I look at the lawyer, I say, what? You my brother? I'm a lawyer. You disrespect me before my community and say I'm going to shut up? And you know, that lawyer couldn't even win the least person in my community. They couldn't do it. Here I am, I go sit with white lawyers to do cases. When the people hear I'm a lawyer, they bring me in the room, they say, Chesson, help us solve the case. And we sit there, I solve the case. I walk away with big cash. My own brother, African American, tell me I'm going to shut up before he can talk. And the man don't even know law. He doesn't know law. I practiced law before. I've been in law court all my life. And I was trying to tell him the way he was handling the case was not the right way. because they think Liberian people are foolish. And I try to tell this man, I say Liberian people are not foolish. Don't think because we're from Africa, we're foolish. When you go to try Liberian people, when we're in court, you can't let Liberian people talk too much. They talk plenty, your case finished. Your kids will die. Especially you got Liberian politicians who really know politics in the cube, and you get a chance to talk, they will kill you. And that's why I'm trying to tell this brother, he was telling me, shut up, trying to embarrass me before my own people. A black lawyer telling another black lawyer, I'm going to shut up before he talks. So, I felt bad, but I said, no, let him go. And the person was trying to put in power, they beat us. They beat us. The person never even went to law school. They beat us just for arguing and putting the points down. But these are all some of the issues that come up, that divide us, that separate us. Lack of respect, lack of understanding, not wanting to be involved with each other. It doesn't benefit me personally. It benefits the greater community. When educated people understand our situation in society and we can work together, despite our idiosyncrasies and differences and cultural backgrounds, and then we can still sit to the table because we are educated. Education not in African and not in French. Yeah, it can be in French, but I mean the basic education. The language may be in French, but basic education is all over. It's all over. The concept of learning is all over. It's not only limited to one country. But if we do not understand our own selves and our ways of communication, how can we fight our enemies? That's why we're always losing everything we do, because one group of black people feel different than the other group of black people. The other black people got some problem with the other group. If we got a problem with each other, we can't survive. We'll just be enslaved forever. If y'all don't understand that now, we'll be enslaved for life. Look at Africa. Africa can't be freed. All the way you can want your freedom and things like that, you will not be freed. Because it has to start with the mind. If the mind is subjected to the queen, do you think the body will oppose the queen? No, it can't oppose the queen. So all the African people talk about, we'll be liberated from colonialism. All the years they're not liberated yet. Since the 1960s, African nations started being, we the only nation, Liberia, the only nation that got independent in 1847, because we were African Americans. And America knew this land was born for us in Liberia. So there was no confusion about who owned the land. When it was time for the American Colonization Society to give up the land, they gave up the land. So, what I'm trying to say here, we have been through it all. We have had negative experience on both sides. I know African Americans have been through Africa, and they treated them the same way that some African Americans treated up here. Oh, you're black people. Oh, yeah, we don't have time for you. Or people feel slighted in different countries when you don't respect them for who they are. We've been hurt across the spectrum. But you can't blame the race for few people's actions. And that will hurt me about the educated people. The educated African American brothers telling me that African hate African American. What? Yes, because you got some few ignorant people who don't understand the cultures of our people. People will act funny because of different reasons. People will act funny because they're scared, because they don't trust you, because they never met you. All these things. People have different reasons for acting funny. And until you find out those reasons, you can't just make a broad claim or accusation that our whole race hate you because of some reason. We got to be very careful. And that's why hurting us today, because people coming from our cultures with different ideas of our behaviors. Everybody don't explain everything. But you got to be, if you're wise and you understand things, when people behave some kind of way, you know what it is. Because a man like me, I'm a traveling man. So I've been to many cultures. I've sat with many peoples. So sometimes when I'm talking with people and I see people behaving some kind of way, it might not be because they don't want to listen to me or because they hate me. It may be because they don't understand what I'm saying and they don't know how to express themselves to me to say, hey, can you explain it better? So you look at their mannerisms. And when you see them acting some kind of way, you say, hey, do you understand what I'm saying to you? You show some personal interest in their concerns. So as educated people, especially African Americans and Americo-Liberians, we got to understand what our education brings to the table. It doesn't bring jealousy. It doesn't bring hatred among ourselves. It doesn't bring needless discrimination amongst ourselves. They don't bring those things. Our education is supposed to bring light and understanding and better direction and better focus on what we need to achieve as a people. But when you don't have those kind of things in mind, any of the frivolous things can throw you off course, can freak your mind, can form impressions in your mind. You see, if I were those kind of people, I would not want to mix with African Americans after I found out that people think Tarzan live in Liberia. You know, some of my friends live there. They've heard those things before, and they got negative impression of African Americans. And as people that me got to tell them, no, you can't form those kind of a whole race of people. Because I know there are some very, very decent African Americans who have helped me along the way, who have been good friends of mine. But they have the few that despite their education, they lost. Just as African people, people educated, despite their education, some of the things that they say, you know, it makes me sick too, especially when it comes to race relations and African American and African relations, all those kind of things. So all this is to say, we need to work together. We need to make things better for each other. Not only on these shores, but wherever we are, we need to make it better for us. And it's in our best interest. Because if we don't, we'll go through this scene, our world not getting better. You'll see and global warming and all those things changing our world. You never know when we may need each other greater than we do now. And when we form these relationships, it helps us take care of ourselves. Yes, we still got our white brothers and sisters. I'm not discounting them. They are a great help to us too. But if our people help each other, our white brothers and sisters will be more encouraged to join them to help our race. But if we divide it among ourselves and fighting each other in house, how can other people help us? The people don't know who to help. Should we have African Americans? Should we have African? No. That's why we gotta grow our mentalities and move away from these negative things that divide us. Because the world is not getting any better. The world is getting worse. And if we don't care about ourselves and understand who we are and what we mean to each other, African Americans will not have the opportunity to benefit from Liberians as they should. Because if any crisis comes in this country and people got to leave, who do you think will leave? Majority of the white people. Liberia is open for them too. They can come to Liberia. We're going to say, oh, if a black people, what? No. we open it to Americans. But with the economic status of our people, how many Americans would be able to leave here to go to Liberia? Only a few. But if we work together, nobody talking about throwing one race. I ain't into that kind of stupid thing. I ain't into race superiority or inferiority or anything. Take that away from me. I'm looking at the greater picture of helping people when they are in need. And African Americans cannot continue to be in that dire need in this country when we can help them from Africa too. Just like they can help us here. We can help African Americans from Africa. We don't have to come to America to help African Americans, but it's a relationship that we form with each other. That African Americans know we don't have to come to America to help y'all, just as you don't have to come to Liberia to help us. We need supplies, raw material, all that kind of thing. We can swap it. We can take care of each other. But we must understand that we got to move away from these idiosyncrasies that keep us down, these negativities that keep us down, to build ourselves. I spent almost an hour on the topic because I want to be understood. I'm not going back and dealing with the historical aspect of our past. No. I'm starting from my experience and what it means for us to work together to do better. I know some African Americans have some bitter experiences in Africa too. I'm not saying that Africans are good. We all got problems, but we all got to grow out of those problems. Let me take a break now. I've been enough on this topic. Then we'll start with my topic, second topic, dealing with repatriation and all that other good stuff. You know what it means, right? So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tony Commander Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. Today, I'm at Kebe's African restaurant on the other side of Providence. And she is right here. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Kebe McCann.
Now, Kebe has been here for a while, and this is one of our Liberian restaurants. So, Kebe, tell us how long you've been in this spot and why you decided to get into business.
I've been in this spot for 14 years now. I decided to open this restaurant because of helping people, going out and feeding the homeless, and we need a place where the food is cooked. And I opened this restaurant. Since then, I'm still at the same place, 850 Admiral Street.
So how has the community responded to your effort?
Well, the community has responded greatly to my efforts. I do successful feed the homeless, and people have embraced the business, and it led me to move forward to Liberia to open an orphanage for children in Liberia.
Wow, you have an
All
orphanage?
from this restaurant.
You kidding me?
And because of the customer has been very nice to me and loyal to me, I was able to go to Liberia 3 weeks ago and open an orphanage in my late mother's name, Eugenia Bright.
Wow. Where is the orphanage?
In New Georgia, Monrovia, Liberia.
Wow. So what message do you have for your customers?
Well, my customers are very loyal to me, and they are very faithful. They always help me when we're doing the backpack giveaway for children every year, which will soon be coming down end of the month. And then we give the food away, the turkey and chicken in November. And because of the customer, all the tips they leave and all the encouragement help me to promote this business and do what I'm doing moving forward. So I love my customers, I love my neighbors, and I love everybody in general.
We thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you, and God bless you too.
Thank you too. Let the people see the delicious food you fix in
Okay,
there.
go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yes. Continue the repatriation and or back to Africa movements to Liberia. We need a lot of help in my country. We need a lot of doctors, especially nurses. We need another physicians. We need teachers. We need trainers to train our people. Right now, conditions in Liberia are not conducive for my people to leave this country and go back home to help us. I'm clearly aware of that. But I'm appealing to African Americans, especially retirees who are still young and vibrant and want to experience Africa and have some fun, to start planning to go Liberia during the next administration to help our people. We need teachers, we need doctors, we need nurses, we need whatever we can get, man. Wherever we can get. We need professional people to come and help. Because we need vocational schools too, not only the formal educational setting we need vocational people. So this is a special appeal to my people to start thinking about this thing here. Right now, things are not conducive in Liberia because the government there not thinking about progress and advancement. But as we get a better administration, as we begin to check and balance our economy and punish these rogues that want to steal our money, many of the properties will be used to house teachers from abroad. Places that George we have for the 7 condominiums, those places are conducive for hosting foreign teachers coming to Liberia to teach our children across the nation. When we confiscate those properties from George Weah and the other criminals, we can use it as a teacher's compound for our foreign teachers to come and teach our people. That is why we got to set our country right. If we want other people to come and help us, we got to make sure that we have the facilities, we have the opportunities in our country for these people to leave their country and make sacrifices too. Because if they come in to teach in our country, if African Americans come in to teach in Liberia for free or on gratis, we got to make sure they have good living conditions, they have good transportation throughout the country, throughout the city, and make their lives comfortable. On weekend, they won't go to the beaches. They can have transportation to take them, security to be with them, so they can have freedom and peace in our country and come and teach our children throughout the Republic of Liberia. So we need the compounds for teachers, not only in Liberia, in Monrovia. We need them all over the county where the criminals building their houses. We'll go after them, we'll confiscate their properties, and we'll make it available to foreign teachers who won't come, foreign professionals who won't come. When we build our society in that way, we'll form a better connection with our people in America, knowing that they can come anytime in Liberia, they can live for 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 6 years, anytime they're giving their services to the Liberian people and leave when their time is up. So we got a lot of things to do to help each other. Vice versa, we can get people to come there and go in the African American communities and help where African communities lack some of the things that they need. We can go there. Historians, we got a lot of historians who know about African American and Liberian histories. We can interchange our teachers, just like in the white schools and everywhere else. We can form these things to do better for our people, give us better understanding and direction and insight of who we are and what we mean to each other. So my class is done for this morning, but it's not done on this topic. we continue this topic because it needs to be ingrained in the heads of our people. That we got to stop all this backwardness. We got to stop all this talk about hatred and all that kind of thing. It doesn't benefit us. It just demonstrates our ignorance has made us so blind to who we are. The time of Americans, African Americans, and Americo-Liberians to come together and form a better relationship and understanding is now. Aluta continua. My class is done. My class is done. So let's see what my people got to give us before I take off for this morning.
West African, mainly Liberian dishes.
How long has this business been in operation?
We've been in business for about 5 years now.
How has the cooperation of the community been?
It's been pretty much supportive, not just Africans, but also our brothers and sisters, the African American community also been supportive, as well as other African and even other nationalities. So far, so good. We've been having a lot of support from different ethnic groups and different nationalities.